Red light, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, red light.
Folks, we're here for a good time. It may be early bells, but the drinks are out for another episode of the Soul Sessions. With me today, of course, is the man himself, Manky Frankie. Welcome, mate.
How you doing, brother? How's your mammy, all right?
Oh, good as always. Let's get the drink on, son, because it's those early days and we have a good time. But you know what, Frankie? We have a rule with this show. We have a format. We have everything we do, and we've done it since. We will do it to the end of time. Every guest has a story. Every story has a beginning. Frankie, how did your story begin as a wrestling fan?
Wrestling fan? I think I went through the unavoidable phase of just being into wrestling. It was just a part of the world and stuff growing up. I remember getting WrestleMania 23, what was that called? It was like the annual, no catalogue, but there was an annual book that came out, and it was basically just a hardcover of like the WrestleMania matches and stuff. I can't remember what that was called. It's obviously a British thing that we got. It was like fucking, people know what I'm talking about, but basically I remember getting that, and it was showing like Cali and Kane, Cena and Michaels, etc., and taking it to school and stuff. So it was always a part of my life. But then it wasn't until I was 10 and I moved in with my gran, basically, and my older uncle, who's like a bigger brother, was hardcore into it, watched it, pay-per-views and all that. And the first event I had watched was Elimination Chamber 2010. So from that period in time up until today's date, my entire life. The only thing that never into football, never into sex, drugs, and rock and roll and wrestling. That's it, baby. You know what I mean?
That's quite a trifecta there, mate. Cheers to that. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, and wrestling. I think you can make that a t-shirt. You might get some money from that.
Aye, fucking right, man. No, you know, I thought I stubbed myself with the Manky Frankie t-shirts with the Budweiser logo. I was like, oh no. I don't know how many mothers are going to want their wains wearing that. But I was wrong. I was fucking wrong, thank God.
It worked, man. It worked. Now, you've mentioned always in that 2010 era of wrestling, and obviously one of the biggest stars of that era, and even a wee bit before it, obviously John Cena, the man, the myth, the legend himself, the current WWE champion. Obviously, he's in his last year, and he's done it as a heel. He's being a menace. He's being a bad guy of wrestling for the WWE. Just your thoughts, Frankie, on John Cena's last run being a bad guy within the WWE?
Quite a bold move, isn't it? Bold move for like, because I was like, you know, you'd see all these Instagram posts and stuff, like, oh, me and the boys on, you know, and it was the date, they say the first date in January and all that, and it was like, and the nostalgic feeling. I was prepared to be sitting, excuse me, there's my alarm to make sure I made this interview, excuse me, but I prepared myself to sit on the couch and feel nostalgic and have to explain to the missus why I'm 25 and I'm greeting, you know, because Cena's come out. They've obviously had to be a bit of a curveball, but I think it's good. Some of it's a bit cheesy. Obviously, he's trying to throw his acting chops in there, and it's a bit like oohs and ahs. It's quite. There's been a quite instant jump into it being a bit pantomimey, but mate, it's good gear. Know what I mean? These matches are good gear, and he's fucking the angle's good. It isn't just this is your fault, fans. You know the generic top babyface has to do the heel turn, and then they just like, you people made me do this. It's quite a cool thing with the whole abusive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. So like the reasoning is high. That's fucking good. Some of the oohs and ahs and the facial reactions can take you out a wee bit because it's a bit cheesy. But at the end of the day, it's Big JC. I don't know what I mean. He's a man. It's fucking. It's I think anything he does is going to be fucking watchable, man, innit? Like I love it with all my heart, but maybe it's because I know back in my mind, like most people, sit here and bitch all we want, but the calendar's going to keep ticking, and then we won't have anything out of him ever again.
Absolutely. I mean, it's done well. People are loving it, minus the Travis Scott stuff at WrestleMania.
Aye,
that's
what the fuck is it? He didn't even fucking need to be there, and then he didn't even turn up at Backlash. You don't fucking need that. That does my fucking tits in. You could have in placement of him. You could have used a chair. You could have used any other prop. He could have used. Could have had I don't know, some friend of Cody turning heel if Cena was going to go the avenue of facing Orton anyway. But you could have used anybody else for that. But fuck it.
We need our celebrities, sadly, in wrestling in this modern day. That's just what the products are now. But obviously, with Cena, we've recently had announced on SmackDown that he'll be facing R-Truth at Saturday Night's Main Event for the title. Obviously, he's faced Orton in the past. There's teases of Punk, and it's a lot of nostalgia matches. And some fans are like, this is what I want. But some fans are like, we want new things. Do you think, as a business mindset, it's very hard to balance doing nostalgia and new things when you have such a hot commodity in John Cena's retirement run?
Your question was, you think, what was this? Ask me again. Is it difficult, are you asking?
Yeah, difficult to balance nostalgia matches with fresh matchups with John Cena's retirement run.
No, not at all, because if you were put in a spot as a booker and you're worried about, oh my god, nostalgia versus keeping facing the fresh guys, if only there was the perfect, most globally well-known, most numerically and financially most successful wrestler ever to work with, oh no, it's John Cena. I think you can do anything with him. I think it's not as if it's me. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm the shit, you know what I mean? But I'm not on WrestleMania and stuff. I'm not working WWE numbers, so it's not as if you're working with the greatest of all time. I think you're in safe hands with being able to balance nostalgia and the freshness, you know? Like, it could be easily somebody else and struggling, but this is the best case scenario for that matter. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it's a fair point indeed. And it's going to be a fun run, whether he retires with the belt or someone takes it off him. And that's the big thing. A lot of people are thinking, who takes the belt off Cena, whether it's going to be like a newcomer like Braun Breaker or a very big star like Penta or Cody Rhodes again, or maybe somebody else. Is there a particular opponent you would like to see dethrone Cena for the title, Manky?
I would like to see, Orton, because Orton is my GOAT. Definitely, I think Randy Orton's the greatest of all time. I think it's amazing everybody's giving him his flowers now, but as the biggest Orton mark you'll ever meet, part of me's pretty pissed off. It's took so fucking long that we all want to sing voices, and you know, because I've been doing it since I was fucking 10. So the fan says I want Orton to be a 1 million time champion because it's Ric Flair approved, and he's just the best. But I think realistically, it'd be pretty cool if I guess Cody, because Cody's a guy, and Reigns doesn't need that stamp because he's already there. There's nothing wrong with passing it like an LA Knight or like a Braun Breaker, the next guy, or passing the torch. But it's kind of like, you better fucking make sure that is going to be the next guy then if Cena's passing the torch. So I think, no for the case of safety, but Cody's up there. I think probably Cody. If you're going to have that last handshake and the passing it and the whole thing at the end of the match and the clap and the fucking raising your opponent's horn, and I think it's probably Cody sounds best. Unless he's already lost the title and by the end of his match, by the end of the run, there's no title and he has a match with somebody like Punk or whatever, and then it's all just about the love at the end. But if he's going to hold the title straight to the end of the run, I think maybe Cody. It'll make sense.
Yeah, I'll take that. I think that's a good thing to go. But you know, some crazy fans with their bookings, they'll book 10 things at once and then it never makes sense because that's how the internet is.
Yeah, because you never want to look back on, you know, the old like memes that you know, this didn't age well. Like, you don't see like the stuff with Nakamura and stuff like that. Obviously not his fault or and certainly not a lack of trying or ability, but like, you know, when he's put over Nakamura and shit and then they didn't really go anywhere with it. Or like Jinder Mahal. I think Jinder Mahal took an AA after the second and kicked out or something like that. Or at least went over. And it's like, there was Cena really trying to give, but then in the long run, it doesn't really fucking matter anyway. So you don't want that to be the last sing song for Cena. Him putting over somebody with the intentions they're going to be the man, and then they aren't really. You know what I mean? Like that's, you know. So I think Cody's going to be there forever. So aye.
No, absolutely. And you mentioned obviously about how Randy Orton fans are now singing voices in arenas, but I would say that, you know, UK fans have been doing that longer as well. And especially with, you know, Roman Reigns chants, they put it into a little song. And And we've seen it more with US crowds as well. Do you think, Frankie, that within WWE and wrestling audiences in general, UK fans are now influencing American fans more with like chants and, you know, just general voicing their opinions and etiquette within arenas?
1,000%, aye. 1,000%, man. Fucking thank God, because you know, see, like when the NXT takeovers just began, and it was like the London one, and it was like, you know, you said it gives a wave chant, and the who are you, and the hey Bailey and all that, like, and I realised, oh, these guys are pretty wild. Then they did a wee tour of Europe, Lyon, Hamburg, etc. Fucking the blown American fans at the bar, you know what I mean? See the let's go, yeah. No, listen, it's institutional, you know what I mean? It has to be attached to wrestling forever. You can't have one without the other, and it's always going to be married. But if you want to go a wee bit wild, a wee bit more creative, like my, you know, in my matches and stuff, it's like, you know, you get the fuck him up, Frankie, you know, like that. It just see just a wee bit more flavour on it. They're all going to be there, and they're all going to be clapping, they're all going to chant, and they're all going to stamp their feet. They're all going to stand up and do this, but why not add a bit of flavour? And I definitely think it's a European, and to be more specific, a British thing, I definitely, and then more specific, a Scottish thing, and then even more specific, a Glaswegian thing. Because correct me if I'm wrong, and I might be wrong, but I see the Cody Rose, the Daddy Cool chant, did that not start in Glasgow?
Near enough. London. Started in London, Money in the Bank.
Was it?
Yeah, I believe so, when it was him
No,
and Dom.
I'm not taking that. We fucking had no. But I know, I want that. I want that. I'll be honest, I'm going to take a claim for that.
Take it,
but
take
I
it,
know
own it.
The influence, 100%, mate. 1,000%, because the chants are way better. You know what I mean? Plus, see just that football like energy. I don't watch football, but you've been at a game.
Oh.
See, there's just a tension in the air that I think British fans are able to bring. You know what I mean? You don't really get the toilet break match vibe. You don't really get the you know, like sometimes it'll come down, it'll go back up. No, it's fucking just whoosh the whole time. I think that's influence for the British fans. 1,000%, mate.
Mm-hmm. It really speaks to as well. Speaking of football, obviously, you know, like you see American football, you know, it's just let's go, our team, let's go. But then you look at something like you look at British culture, then it's like, oh, we found this man's personal details. He's had 2 divorces. We're going to use that into a chant to slag him off. And it's like, fuck. It's like, why do you think British fans have that mentality as fans? Do you think it's just the culture we grew up on? Do you think it's just how the way British people are? What do you think gives fans that mentality of creativity with chants?
I found that it's pretty funny actually, because I look into these things with like, you know, being social and that, because I'm an extreme extrovert. I don't know if you've noticed, but I think it's just the assumption of familiarity. Like I can go, "How you doing, you bastard? You all right?" Or like, "How you doing, you crazy bastard?" But in America, you know, or maybe elsewhere, you know, like in some countries you don't even smile at each other in the street. You know, like that's the thing, the friendliness and the assumption of familiarity. Like, "Oh, shut up, you stupid dick," or like, if see the dog's on the couch, you go, "Get down, you bastard." That whole like being comfortable with the name calling, being so, but the just assuming that such immediate closeness with a stranger. I think that's how we're just like, "Oh, it's a laugh. We'll talk about his mom," or you know, fucking call somebody a pedo, you know, stuff like that. And we're just so comfortable where it's like that there's no fuck this sort of like consent thing because it's for the sake of commodity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's a bond. It's a bond thing that we have through comedy and humor, and not taking things too seriously. Where you could slag somebody's ma and then not get shot in the street. Right. You're good on that regard. Obviously, within Scotland itself, I feel like one city in particular that's very important with wrestling history is obviously Glasgow. Glasgow, obviously, with the Hydro hosting many great events from TNA to WWE, and obviously coming up AEW as well. But then obviously on the grounded level with companies like ICW, CPW, APW. Frankie, for yourself, what do you think wrestling means to the city of Glasgow?
I think that flashback about 10 years ago, man, it was like Progress and ICW were like the staples in the UK. Obviously, you've got RevPro and Sprouted splotted out and stuff, and it's branched out. I think when you think of Scottish wrestling, you just immediately think of Glasgow. Maybe the attachments with ICW in your mind and stuff, and obviously now I'm sure they're doing great. I don't know. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot here with getting about them, but they're doing great. But now other what's the expression about high seas makes all boats rise, or whatever, however that expression goes. Me now, because of the success, people that promotions like APW, CPW, etc. are able to come for that. So I think it's institutional, man. It's going to be it's a hot spot in it. You know what I mean? It's going to be there forever. I think just like it's thriving in it. It's becoming cool again. There's another boom happening as we speak. Me and you're sitting here right now, and there's a boom that we can talk about and that we felt. Hence, you've even got good brothers like yourself that have been able to make a fucking podcast about it. You know what I mean? So there you go. You know what I mean? It's it's for a lot of us, it's their whole fucking life. So it's certainly alive, and it's certainly not gone anywhere, and it's only going to get bigger and better, man. I know there's like wrestling in Edinburgh, and of course, but Glasgow's fucking where it's at. You know what I mean? Same with everything. You know what I mean? Football and birds and fighting and all that.
I'm an Edinburgh boy, but even I can put the bias aside and say Glasgow is pretty damn hot. I mean, even for a good night out as well. I mean, fuck me, I've had some good times in Glasgow.
I'm too schemy, mate. I've been to Edinburgh once. It was too pricey for me. First time I went, my granny took me to the Edinburgh Dungeons.
Oh.
And then me and I think it was this girlfriend. We went to Edinburgh, and I'll get in trouble for that one. I think it was this girlfriend. We went to Edinburgh for a night out or whatever. It's all right, but Glasgow's where it's at. No, I mean, I want to go and stick somebody in a headlock and then, go and party. No, I mean, up Sucky Hall Street. It's just it's the way it is.
Of course, absolutely, mate. And obviously, one of the big two companies going on there is CPW and APW, Community Pro Wrestling and Attitude Pro Wrestling. But before we jump into those companies, I obviously want to talk about the Hydro, the legendary building it is in itself.
Yes, sir.
And obviously, WWE ran there, and the big controversy was those ticket prices, because good Lord, were they quite extortionate.
Aye, man, they were. It was a day off, man, and it crushed me because I was working that day. I remember being, don't faint here, but I was hungover that day. And I remember going, bastard, but at least I'll get home. It'll be UK times. I can stick it on the telly. Me and her will watch it. It's going to be good stuff. This is really important for us. Global spotlight on just like everything I fucking ranted on there about how important Glasgow is. Scottish fans are the best in the world. And then my cousin Darren had messaged me. He must have just. He was like, "We maybe never get this again." I bought his tickets, and we were in the floor level where the hard cam was facing, right in the middle. I think he spent like £770. And I was like, "Mate, thank you so much." We were there spilling ciders and all that. He actually started Sammy Zayn. There's a clip in that chant going when Gable and Sami Zayn got to lock up at Clash at the Castle, and he started that chant, and the whole arena, and he turned around at me and he went, "Mate, nobody will ever believe that just happened." And I went, "Don't worry, I'll tell everybody." But that was one of the best nights of my life, man. A lot of that, I was just stood in silence and awe, obviously visualising, trying to beat that. Maybe in my mind going, "I want to be here. This is the aim." To soak it all up whilst everybody's going nuts, taking time to turn around and look at everybody above. That was fucking, mate. That was hardcore. That night. That was so good, man. But the price tickets extortionate. I know I didn't pay for it, so it's maybe contradicting myself here to say this, but it's worth every fucking penny, man. Every penny.
As long as the audience feels happy and they got their money's worth, I think price is justified, because value to one person may be value to another. As long as you're happy, you got your money's worth. Yeah.
I definitely, easier said than done, right enough, but I'm sure as you're fucking you're handing in the cash or pressing your Apple Pay button, sure it'd be a fucking slap right in the arse, I'm sure, but I bet people who paid the money certainly do not regret it.
Absolutely.
If
I mean,
it was
there's nothing
happening tomorrow,
Oh,
you know what I mean, I'd fucking be there again.
hey, absolutely. I mean, there's nothing wrong with eating pot noodles for a month. I mean, for that, I mean, hey,
Pot
I'll take
noodles,
that.
that's my whole life, mate. Pieces of pot noodles. You ever tried mama noodles?
Oh no.
Thai noodles, mate. Oh, fucking forget all about it, mate. It'll change your whole life. Creamy tom yum shrimp you're wanting. Fucking amazing. But no, I could live on noodles, mate. Live on noodles. So I definitely, there's a plan. Me and you live on the noodles. We'll just tour the world and go to every wrestling show. We'll turn into green shirt guy.
Oh hi, fuck
Green
hi. I'll
shirt
just
boys,
get
there you go here. Cheers to that, handsome.
I'll get a tartan shirt. That'll do as well, man. But obviously, let's get on to the local level of Glasgow. Obviously, one of the big companies obviously is Attitude Pro Wrestling. I'd like to get to know the story of how you started with the company.
Started with a company with, I guess at the time, my best friend, the Wanderer. Obviously, that's fizzled out the way it has. But he was my best pal. Down the hill from where I'm sitting just now in my house, and we used to play wrestling in the backs. Down his backyard, and he'd have the iPad with the wrestling songs. Just as you said, we've been singing these songs for years, so we were singing Voices and the whole shebang. And Attitude Pro Wrestling was a thing that he made up on like one of the Photoshop ads, but apps. But see now you make a wee logo, whatever. He came up, see that logo? He made that on his iPad. And he came up with that, and the Attitude Pro Wrestling thing, and the Frankie Richards, and all that was made up in a back garden. And then finally, and he kept going, I'm going to buy a ring. I'm going, what? You want to buy a ring? He's like, I'm going to run a show. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And eventually put money behind it, and he turned literally something that was from one back garden that's maybe several hundred feet away through the Glencairn into a reality. And now we're on the 12th show, and as much as he's got the connections and he puts his blood, sweat and tears into it, and he really, really gives a fuck about it. He really does. I definitely think my popularity and people knowing me for Rutherglen, and I worked in the pubs, and then now it's people are of my age at 25. My mother's. I've got two wee younger brothers, so my mother knew other mothers, and I spread the word like a motherfucker, and I've been able to sell out fucking 12 times in a row. You know what I mean? I've been able to make quite a wee special hub for myself there. So he put he's definitely the pillars of that, man, financially and the mind and all that. But I definitely put the butts in seats, and I made people know the name and give a fuck about it. And I'm proud of that. You know what I mean? Maybe I've said, I don't know how many other people have got that in one venue kind of thing. That isn't shared, like the ICW's got the garage, but that's but I've got the Glencairn, you know what I mean? That's like me as an individual, the Manky one, you know what I mean? But that's how I became involved with it. But to become involved is a bit of a loose term, because it's just something we've always known as wee guys. But he then fucking started getting insurance for and, and booking out dates and turning it into a reality. Instead of a sunny Saturday, we go down and I stick on a pair of Lonsdale boxing boots and me and you fob it on the grass. Turned into fucking real life, man. It's been a dream come true. Doing it on your own main street, on your own scheme. You know what I mean? People you grew up with, because Scheme me and the Wanderer Fair, we easily could have been another one of these every week fucking funerals, but we're there trying to make a good you know what I mean, not keep people off the streets, but put a better message. You know what I mean? It doesn't always need to be that way. Look at us. You know what I mean? So that it means the world doing it right there. Like I could from that venue, I could point at the house at the flat that I grew up in. You know what I mean? So being involved, it's the answer at when did I become involved? I don't know. It feels as if it's always been a part of me, kind of thing. And that's fucking special, man.
I mean, 100% agree there, Frank. And I think it speaks to the caliber of the company as well. When you see its effect on the community as well, that you see people coming there with families, friends, young ones, it has that impact upon the community. And it must be quite prideful to see what Attitude Pro Wrestling has done for the community, right?
Yes, sure, man. It's a lot of pride in it. A lot of pride. Oh, I spill whiskey everywhere. A lot of pride. It's Aye, man, it is special because people know in this area that you know, I've got wrestling. You know, sometimes you'll be like, I went to the wrestling and it was somewhere, and you know, sometimes it's a wee bit, I know, relative to outside of Glasgow, right, or across Glasgow. I know you're in Edinburgh, but it's maybe stretched it over here and over there and whatever. For the South Lanarkshire area, anyway, the closest you got was up in East Kilbride. You know what I mean? The regular wrestling, but to bring it down here, it's great, man. It's great. It's, it means a lot, man. To fucking give Rutherglen, Cambuslang, whatever, a bit of wrestling. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, and the caliber of stars as well that have came into APW as well. Like Eric Young was there. I know Suicide was there as well. You've had people from PPW as well.
Hornswoggle
as well. It's like
Sammy D, aye, Renzo Rose, aye.
God, that must be the real mind-blowing experience, knowing that people who have been on national television in the biggest of matches of all time have came to the company to give it that showcase, right?
Aye, mad. It was. See, we were backstage and she just like. So I'm sitting on the other side, and my cousin Dan that I mentioned, who was you know super. He was friends with the Wanderer first growing up, and then that's how I got introduced to the Wanderer. So he's like my wee brother and me. So she's just been best pals, still massive wrestling match to this day, and I'm going, sit lacing my fucking boots next to Hornswoggle, and then you know, see even the next week, or sure even the weeks up before, people going, oh, I've seen the poster, Hornswoggle and Glencairn, like Hornswoggle and Rutherglen Main Street, like, wow, what the fuck? What the fuck is this life, man? It's fucking crazy. But obviously, I never marked it in front of him. You know what I mean? He was what a boy, man. What a boy acts. Cunt's an animal. He's a good laugh, man, and a fucking gentleman, I know. And a realist, a pure realist, man. He wasn't full of shit. Like some guys are like, you know, do I, you know, they're super reserved, which is fine. That's the main thing. Some guys are full of shit, like in life. But he was a realist, man. He was super transparent. But see, just having him there, and like I said, flashing back to 10 years ago, rolling about in the backyard, you know what I mean? There was a weird crossover period where I was out having sex, you know, as a teenager, taking drugs, but then also playing wrestling in the back garden. You know what I mean? Like, and now flash forward, we're actually in a rugby series match with Hornswoggle for real. Crazy, mate. The people that have gone through is nuts. Even having suicide there, fucking wild.
The world works in a mysterious way, Frankie. You just never know what's going to come.
Does, mate. I love
it. You gotta love it as well. But as well with Active Pro Wrestling is that you've taken, you know, resources outside and local and used them to your benefit as well. Because I know you guys have used local radio as well to help benefit your shows as well, correct?
Yes, sir. Glencairn, Cam Glen radio it is. They boys are Nick and Jamie, man. The Jamie Heaney show it is. It's they boys look after us. You know what I mean? They conduct a real good show, just like yourself, man. There's a real operation going on there, and you go in and it's odd trying to inject your stuff into this platform that already exists. But I know they're fucking good boys, man. It's some laugh. I know they love a giggle. Then when you come off and they're playing smooth operator or whatever, you know what I mean, you get a laugh after them. The guy Jamie, he takes his grand Waynes to the show, his grand boys, but it's a good laugh, man. And we've had Stanislav, and we've had Ross Hauser and Ruby Roberts. You know, a few have been on, you know what I mean, and done a good job. Nick Justice and stuff. He's a dink, but he was on there, you know what I mean, done a good job, and it's good to hear. Some old woman might be driving going, oh, fucking right, there's a wee, you know, wee Jacob, fucking whatever Wayne's names are these days, wee Jacob, he loves the wrestling, but I mean, I'm going to take him, that sounds good, let me Google that, let me check the Facebook, fucking, it's brilliant, man, and they don't, see, like, Caden Cross was on, and he was like, oh, I'm so nervous, and all that. I was like, mate, they would never want you to put you in a spot to fail, like they certainly would never let you drown, because it doesn't help anybody, and they're no dicks. But they fucking, it's good. They're good stabilisers, you know what I mean? And they put on a good show, and they're fucking nice as anything.
Aye, absolutely. It's a great avenue for you guys to obviously showcase the company, showcase yourselves, and use every platform you can. Because obviously, radio, television, social media, all platforms to help showcase your talents. And obviously within APW, I do want to get onto your feud with the Wanderer. Obviously, we had the discussion at Ruggy Rumble afterwards. We recorded an interview afterwards about the whole situation there. And I know at Ruggy Mania, you would have the last man standing match against him. To see that whole culmination, what did it mean to you to finally, hopefully, is this put into rest with the Wanderer, or is there potential for more? Like, what's the script there, Frankie?
I don't know. It's still a bit mad. It's like it's a bit like a breakup, isn't it? It's like, I don't know. There's still a bit of guilt, even bad mouthing them, even though I am actively angry, and it's kind of like, if you were on a night out and you started fighting with a guy and although you might have battered him or whatever, it's like still it's no. I don't imagine it's going to be cool next time we bump into each other. It's going to be fucking odd. Listen, working for APW, obviously I'm going to be working on his under his payroll and that, but it's not going to be fucking kisses and cuddles anymore. A lot of that's changed now as we're getting older. Some stuff's a bit unforgivable, but the match was excellent, great. The reception was out of this world. I've watched the tape back. Fucking good match. It was very rewarding, the work that I put in. Although that may look questionable sometimes, and that made it even more rewarding. But it's listen, probably we're still young. How I always imagined this was going to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I think it's going to be generational. Me and him are going to be attached to their hip forever, whether we like that or not. Man, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. As I've said to many, he's a fucking arse hat. You know what I mean? But I punched his cunt in, you know what I mean, and that's all that matters.
Hey, you got results.
Excuse the language, I'm so sorry.
No, please, no, never mind that. Just
look at us, cheers to that. Good on you.
Cheers to that, son.
You tell him I was asking for her.
Oh, I will do, son. But obviously, well, there's the future. Obviously, I know APW have got Ruggy Slam coming up, Ruggy Havoc.
Yes, sir.
They have so many more shows coming up. Is there potential goals you want to accomplish in the company? Winning the championship or facing a particular opponent? What goals are there for you in Attitude Pro Wrestling?
Well, obviously be the champ. Obviously be the champion now, because every single time I've stole the show, listen, even if somebody could sit me down and we have a fair discussion about we didn't have the best match of the night, absolutely, that's subjective, and there's loads of boys and girls on there then trying their fucking hardest. But if you go, you remember my song, you remember the reaction. I mean, it's going to the waves are going to come out, but it's definitely be the champ. Aye, good on the big strong man. I think there's nobody else that quietly deserves it. Even though I had to whip his candy ass and canvas slang, but that's the way it is. But he's the reaction when I helped him win the title, that was out of this world, and it made me want it more. Made me want it even more. But that's definitely, as I'm looking down the road, the objective initially, to answer your question bluntly, is be the Attitude Pro Wrestling Champion. Just as I was in those back gardens all those years ago, but now to stick it up his craw, make it fucking real. And outside of that, just grow up, man. You get my name out there, just like all the rest of us want to do. I want this thing to be my full time. I don't want the 9 to 5, let's call it. I don't want that. I want to, oh, you do the wrestler, I want to be a wrestler. You know what I mean? I am a wrestler, but you get what I'm saying. I want that to be my everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. You want it to be your full-time living. You want it to be what you're known for. You want it to be when you wake up in the day and know, well, that's my job, entertain and be a professional wrestler. With Scotland as well, we have such a wide array of companies. Obviously, CPW and APW family-oriented, ICW teenagers, late adults, Bleeding Gums obviously is the deathmatch types. You have the Hardcore School of Wrestling, which obviously is a kind of hardcore street-based company. For yourself, Frank, is there any kind of variations of wrestling you like to add onto your repertoire, whether it's something hardcore style, deathmatch style, strong style, any kind of particular style?
Do you know what? It's funny when you said that. That's what flashed in my head. I see that like Bleeding Gums and all that, and all this stuff coming up. I'd like to give that a go. I'd love to give that a go, you know what I mean? Because I think my style is, you know, it's out there and it's flashy and singing the song and drinking the beer and cheers and I'm kissing your mammy and the whole shebang. But to throw you through the fucking wall as well, you know what I mean? And then pick you up and put you through a 10 kilo of fucking light bulbs and watch you fucking bleed out. That sounds pretty good to me as well, you know what I mean? That gets me fucking half hard as well as a good pint and high fives does. You know what I'm saying? I think I've definitely got that. I've got a bit of evil in me, you know what I mean, that I need to get out. And I think hardcore wrestling sounds fucking good. Because after the last man standing match, and I was able to stand at last, it's fucking it sounds pretty good to me. That hardcore stuff, I think that's an itch I definitely need to scratch.
Oh, that would be a very interesting itch to scratch indeed, mate. I mean, who knows? You become a deathmatch champion with that, maybe in the future with that APW championship as well. A double champion might be quite good. But you know, Frank, I know you're a man who loves your drink. You love a bit of the drink. I want to know
what
if you. I would think so. I mean, you do love a bit. We all love a bit of the drink.
Some bitch.
You got me, son. You got me there. But you know what? Let's see. I'm going to say when, because I believe you. You're a guest of the show. I've got the faith. When you win the APW championship,
yes, sir.
How would you put your style on it? Would you make it a drinking belt, little shot glasses around the side, little bottles of Budweiser on it? How would you customize it to represent?
Oddly enough, man, I'm a bit of a, what's the word? I'm a bit of a, is purist the right word? Like I like the idea that a title is, you need to respect that. That's what it is. Like the crown, that you would never put like on the monarch. They would never put their spin on the. I think that I am the way I am, interchangeable and flashy and out there and attention seeking. That has to have its own respect on it. That should remain as is, because we're always chasing that. That if it's something I want to change all the time, I'll just come out with a fucking different hat or a thong on. You know what I mean? Different colours every night. That should be as is. Maybe I'll come out with different drinks. You know what I mean? Maybe instead of a Tenants, although I'm fucking chasing that Tenants sponsorship, I'll tell you that right now. Maybe I'll come out with a double pint gin, lemonade, loads of ice, bit of berries in the bottom. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll come out with that. Maybe that's how I'll put my spin on it. Maybe I'll go for you. Maybe I'll change to spirits. There you go. That's how I'll put my twist on being a champ.
Oh God, he's on the hard stuff now. Oh, shit's about to get real. That'll be absolutely fun indeed, Frankie. You know what? I can't wait to see what kind of things you get up to when you become the champion, because I have the faith in you. I have the faith, and always remain the faith.
Very, very much. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. But you know what? We're coming to the end of our time here on the Soul Sessions, and I appreciate you coming here, Frankie. So the final question I want to ask me, you know, APW has made its home in the Glencairn venue.
Yes, sir.
Is there a goal for you to see the company go to another particular venue, whether it's a bigger venue or even a smaller venue? Is there a dream venue for you to perform with APW?
The Hydro. No, I mean, listen, I know that's, some people might laugh at that, but it's like, to accomplish goals, you do need to make baby steps, and I get that. And I'm sure you meant, which local venue have you been? I know what you're asking, but I can't help but shoot for the stars, because what the fuck else is the point? So obviously the Hydro, but otherwise, I don't know. I don't really. Thank God I'm not a promoter, and I don't need to think of the stress of the venue. I get told the venue, and it's my objective to then fill it. That's my responsibility. So no, that it doesn't matter, but I don't know if I'm the one to answer that question. Any venue and all the venues, ideally the Hydro, and then even fucking Hampden. You know what I mean? But listen, you need to dream bigger. There's no point in fucking dreaming.
Aye, absolutely, mate. I mean, who knows? That could be a dream. It could be a very well dreamed, and it will be a great dream for all the fans and yourself, man. I can't wait to see how, because I have faith. You make a dream, think of it, realize it. Who knows? Reality can come. You can have fun with it and let it become reality. That's it. Well, amen, Frankie. You know what? I appreciate the time coming on here, mate. Truly a pleasure. And of course, folks, if you love what you've heard of Manky Frankie, I'll put a link to his Instagram down below. You can click it, follow him, see his journey, and see what seltzers he brings out to the ring or whatever mix. And you get to say you've seen it there first. Well, folks, I would say finish up your drink, but I've already done that. So
we'll link up for one, you can't. Know what I mean? We'll go for one. You show me.
Sounds good to me, mate. Just don't put me through a table. I need this suit to remain
no, at
intact.
all. My fat arse will maybe break it as I sit on it, but that's as far as we'll go. Look, you going to you be there, Ruggy Slam?
Oh,
August
I'll hopefully
17th
get
in the
there.
Glencairn. Tickets out now.
Right, Sunday, 17th of August, folks. Glencairn venue, Ruggy Slam. Get your tickets, obviously, for the show, and I'll definitely try and make my way along, get some interviews in, do my job, and make sure I do it very well, and hopefully get a few drinks in with the madman himself.
Good on you. Good on you. So listen, thank you very much for your time. You're a gentleman.
Pleasure,
Not
man.
true what they say about you anyway.
Oh,
It's not true what they know about you in the guys' toilets. No, at all.
Stay well, folks, and thank you as always for tuning in for another episode of the Soul Sessions.
Now I'm out there here and gonna live like animals do. No more laws and no more rules.